Things are quiet. I mean, it might be too quiet right now in the Guthrie investigation, the Guthrie case. It's been almost 3 weeks now that an 84-year-old woman is taken from her home in the middle of the night. At least one of the people responsible caught on camera in front of the house on video. Yet here we are with hundreds of officers and deputies from Pima County, hundreds of officers from the FBI tracking every lead, every piece of evidence, and still no word. And things right now are like really quiet. Like even on the news front, there aren't like little bits and pieces of information being shared. And I'm wondering if it's too quiet. You know, sometimes it gets really quiet before the storm. We're going to talk about it. We're also going to break down the video in a way that I haven't done yet, which is like really slowing it down to see what we can see and what we don't see. I'm Vinny Politan, lead anchor for Court TV, along with Albert H. Wunsch III, Esquire.
Hola, Danjanistas.
And the radio legend, the one and only Jonesy.
Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Fasten your seatbelts, folks. It's Friday. It's a Friday afternoon, and this is the Tangent Podcast.
Vinny and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast. Vinny has the blue eyes, Al cracks the jokes. Jonesy stays behind his shades, entertaining all the folks. It's Vinny and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast. Load up all your comments, hit those super chats. Let's go smash that like button, so we can all have a blast. Vinny, Al, and Jonesy on the job. They're the Sugar Hill Gang of true crime. They're telling stories of days gone by. They take crime and turn into a good old time. It's Vinny and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast.
All right, great to have you on this Friday. And wow, last weekend, so much happened in this case, and then things went really quiet. And each day got more and more quiet. Not just notifications from law enforcement, but also the in-depth reporting that's taking place in this case. Like there were sources and leaks and pieces of information here and there, and now it's like nothing is happening. What does this mean? What does the quiet mean? Is it the quiet before the storm? Excuse me. Get choked up. We're at 3 weeks. So you look at some of the two of the biggest cases that we've followed before this, right? You had, excuse me, Mangione, right? And that was 5 days. 5 days they wrapped that thing up. But then you had the case out in Idaho, the Idaho 4, that was 6 weeks. And that one is, I think, much more like this one because it's someone in the middle of the night, right, who's dressed up in all this stuff, not someone on the streets of New York City. So what are your initial thoughts here, Al, about this quiet?
Well, they always say silence is golden. So, you know, when you've got this kind of a situation going on, you have to start thinking that there's something brewing, you know, the calm before the storm, so to speak, and that the FBI now has the opportunity to take a look at this so-called DNA evidence that they have, just running it through. It's not in the majors, so they're going to start looking in the minors and seeing if they can find a match, you know, through genetics. There are a lot more tips coming in. They've raised the reward up to over $200,000 for any information that would lead to the returning or the finding of this individual who or individuals who were involved. So I think this is the important time now. This is when they've got themselves in a position where they're starting to process everything and keeping it out of the public. And that lends me to believe that they've got some sort of a sense of where this is going to be going in the not too distant future. So I think this is a good sign.
Jonesy, are you what do they say in the business? Cautiously optimistic with the quiet that is seemingly to covering this story right now?
Well, as they say, no news is good news. And all along, I'm sure there are lots of things that they never told us. They chose what they were going to tell us, and if they're choosing to say nothing now, yeah, maybe that is a good sign. Maybe it does mean that something is brewing underneath.
You've got a scenario now where you've got them actually, kind of trying to get people away from the area. They're also trying to, warn people not to be calling 911 with theories and 911 with discussions and things along those lines, that they want solid tips that are going to lead, so that they want something that's going to be concrete. And people have been very helpful, I'm assuming, because this is such a horrendous scenario. But now's their time to start taking what they've got and generating some real concrete evidence and real concrete leads.
Gents, I have to jump for just like 45 seconds to a minute or so. So sure. I'll leave it in your hands.
Right. That sounds good. So going with that, Jonesy, I think that, they have got enough data now that they're starting to work. They started to expand the search area. They are looking into Mexico. They are looking around the area, so that it's become so-called international at this point. And there's a lot more feelers out there, what we call pickers in the business. These are people that are going to be picking out little facts and sending them information, because now there's a $200,000 reward on this. 100,000 was from an individual that remained anonymous, and then there's 100,000 from the FBI.
Do you think the two incidents where they detained people, that was based on tip? Do you think that they were? They must have seen them as good tips, right? Do you think?
Well, the thing was that the one individual, it was an individual and his mother that they ended up jumping onto, and that is because this individual had a record, had a felony in the past, had served time for, basically it was a drug crime, but had served time, and it was within a 2-mile radius. You always kind of look at those people as the first suspects in any type of situation. Have you even watched like Law and Order or something like that, or SVU? What's the first thing they do when there's a child abduction? They take a look to see where are the registered sex offenders in the area, and then they will go and they will speak with each one of these individuals.
Give them the shakedown.
I'm sorry?
Give them the shakedown.
Well, yeah, or just, find out where their alibis, where there's this, where there's that, things along those lines. So now you have an individual who's got a criminal record that's within the vicinity, living with his mother, okay? So what would you do? I would be looking at them also. It doesn't hurt to take that up. So now whether or not that was a tip of a lead, but they certainly know through parole and through other reasons, other, vast data that they have with regards to ex-cons as to, his whereabouts. So that was that situation. The person was identified and cleared, and said that, he was as a former felon.
Do they take DNA on all people who are sentenced to prison?
In any crime, okay, they don't take it. Because you could be sentenced to jail, but if you're generally sentenced to prison, then that's usually a felony. And in New Jersey, we don't have felonies. We have first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree. And any one of those will require you to put a swab in a DNA evidence
So
bank.
they had DNA on this guy that they detained, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's and the DNA that came back was not in the system. So
Right.
so now what do? They look for the derivative. They look to see if they can now go through their resources and find whether or not there is a connection to a family member or something along those lines, and then they can work their way down the.
You're talking genetic genealogy.
That's correct.
Here's the problem in this case, and it may be a problem, it may not be a problem in this case. If in fact we are talking about, if we're talking about a suspect who may be of Hispanic heritage, right?
Okay.
Less likely to be found via genetic genealogy. The reason being, people have to enroll in it. And what the folks have told me who do the genetic genealogy, and one of the best is right in your neck of the woods in Ramapo. They have a great program up there, is that there are less people who have enrolled in those sites. So the pool of donors is much smaller with Hispanic individuals. So it would be less likely that you'll hit a connection to a relative if in fact that's part of your family tree. Whereas if you're Caucasian, you're more likely, because there's more Caucasian people in the pool of people who have voluntarily placed their DNA into these systems. So that's makes it more of a challenge. In the Idaho case, they were able to do it, right?
Right.
There's a lot of people.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of people who don't participate in things like that. I remember at CrimeCon there was a group collecting DNA for good purposes, and I don't want to speak for you two gentlemen, but I was like, no, man, I'm not giving my DNA to anybody. I mean, I don't know why. I just
and we thank you for that.
What are they going to do? They might clone you, and then we'll have another Jonesy.
That's right.
I didn't feel right, and I think maybe there are other people that feel the same way as I.
Yeah, and there's like a limited number of people, and sometimes they can trace it out. So many degrees of separation, but there are certain factions of the public that don't participate as much as others do. So the more that people, participate, whether it's in your race or your ethnicity or your background, however it's traced, better chance that there might be a connection. So everything I'm learning, that if in fact the person is Hispanic, and they seem to have darker skin, could be Greek, could be Italian, could be Turkish, I don't know. Could be Middle Eastern, I don't know. But it's just not as likely to get a hit.
My gal does genealogy extensively, but for example, she doesn't want to submit DNA. She just relies on what's out there already. And you can do very well just relying on what's out there.
I wonder if they do genetic genealogy through CODIS as well, which is the system. Like they look for matches, there's no match, but would they do? I don't know if the genetic genealogy, so say your third cousin was arrested.
Right.
Could you use the code? That's a question I need to ask the expert next time I have them on, because I don't think they go into those banks, but that would be interesting. Because again, that would just give you a larger pool of people to draw from, people who have not voluntarily submitted their DNA to a database. So we're getting word, people are reporting that there is some sort of a search taking place at a landfill. And if there's a landfill search going on right now, I that's not good.
No, that's not good.
That's not good. That's not good, because something has to lead you. And this is 3 weeks later, by the way. So it's difficult to trace that stuff 3 weeks later if someone is disposed of 3 weeks ago, but they could have been held on to and disposed of later. But to go to a landfill, you need specific information about, where was the source. You don't just go to a landfill and start looking. All right, no, because landfills, the searches are actually a little bit more specific based upon where the pickups are from and where those pickups drop off, and they're able to track that to a certain extent. So most landfill searches are more focused than you would think. And if that's the case, then they may have some really bad information again. So the quiet could be before this huge revelation at the landfill. That may be what's happening right now.
I'm looking now, Vin. I don't see anything on the landfill aspect of it.
Somebody's streaming live from there.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think someone's streaming live from there. I think that's what's happening. They'll follow the leads on the ground. They'll go, wherever there may or may not be action. Sometimes it's related, sometimes it's not related, but they're doing a pretty good job. All the YouTubers that are out there right now, they got their, like last weekend, they were on it. All of them that were out there, they all knew something was brewing. They all ended up at the right place. There was action in more than one location. So
you're right. I mean, I remember you and I were looking at that, and going back and forth.
Yeah, we're watching and texting each other on on a Friday night. What is that?
Friday night.
What is that?
I was up till 2:30 waiting for that stupid press conference. 2:30 a.m.
It never happened.
And it never happened.
Yeah, I thought it was last. So if they are to landfill, that is like worst case scenario. That is not great news. It would almost be better news if they don't find anything, right? That's almost the best news if they don't find anything, unless they have absolute proof that something happened to her. I can't imagine they'd be looking for evidence there other than Nancy Guthrie. Are you really looking for? Are you going there looking for a glove? No, I don't think so.
That doesn't make any sense. So. That wouldn't make any sense at all. I mean,
the other thing you mentioned, Al, that I wanted to follow up on the reward, and I've been talking a lot about this. It's $200,000 because there's a lawyer in Milwaukee who donated $100,000 on top of the $100,000. And I think there's like $2,500 that's in there as well. So it's like $202,500. I'm sorry. That's not what was needed for a case like this. Like the reward should have been much higher, like game changer type of reward in this case. And wherever the source came from, I don't care where the source came from. Private, public, whatever, however you do it, like, because someone is 84 years old, every moment meant something. And I felt like dirtbags hang out with dirtbags. If you've got, if you throw up game-changing money that would make someone say, oh, that'll change my life. I'll turn in my brother. I don't care. I'll turn in my brother-in-law, whatever, like $1 million, like 7 figures, like that gets people's attention. 100,000. Yeah, it's nice. It's a lot of money, but it's not like I'm not turning in someone who's dangerous for 100,000. Give me $1 million. All right. This changes my life. I'll roll the dice on them arresting him and me getting out of Dodge. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I felt all along. I don't know what you think about that number, but I thought it should have been super high from the beginning because this was an urgent case. There was urgency from the beginning.
Could there be reason that the authorities advised against that?
They don't want to catch the person?
No, the more you offer, it would seem to me the more false leads you're going to get also.
They're getting 30,000 leads anyway. Like, but you want the one from the person who can give you the actual information, right? If you have the real information, like that lead will bubble to the top. It's not going to get buried. That's going to bubble to the top. That's going to pop, right? And I cannot believe that hasn't happened. Like, and to me, 3 weeks ago, not like today. Today, still, sure, yeah, sure. But me, like 3 weeks ago, someone's got an 84-year-old with a pacemaker. Let's see if we can save her life. Let's see if we can convince someone close to these dirtbags who will turn on someone and just take the money and run.
Well, yeah, just another little fact I'm going to add on to that. Just keep this in mind too. Rewards are not tax-free. Okay, so so if you figure a $200,000 reward, 35% of that is going to be taxable, at least at the federal level, and it certainly is going to be at the state level. So 200,000 is not 200,000. I don't know the answer to the question as to whether or not it should have been a lot of money up front. And the reason why I'm, skeptical about it is because there was the fact that there was never any real substantiated note, and that this was done, where the note came a couple of days after the incident. There was nothing there. It led me to believe that this was a botched robbery or botched B&E, breaking and entering. And when it's that kind of a situation, I think it's very limited on who is involved and who knows what's going on. And I don't know if it would have given out any tips or anyone would have come to the rise up, other than the people that keep calling in saying, well, did you check, my neighbor? Did you check so-and-so? Did you check so-and-so? So I'm not sure that would have made a difference in this.
There's no harm, no foul. There's no harm, no foul.
I don't disagree with that. I agree with you that would be, the significance there, but I don't know if the reward is really going to be the situation that gets us this case. And I'm seeing now reports that Fox News has got a helicopter over a landfill. So,
okay. So we're over how many people do they show this? Are they showing the search?
It's just I'm getting I'm not watching because I made
okay. You're getting I got
so
you.
I'm getting reports that are coming on that are being printed.
Okay. All right. So sometimes that leads to something. Sometimes it doesn't. It's we've seen successful searches of landfills for small children. So it can absolutely be done, especially if you have a good idea of where the pickup was from and where it landed. So
I see people saying, well, there's no robbery because nothing was taken. That doesn't mean that that's not the reason why they were there in the first place. And then something happened there that all of a sudden took them out of the realm of let's steal something and let's get the hell out of here. Okay. Because if the Nancy came down, saw them in there, fell, hit her head, something along those lines, there's 41 minutes as to what was going on in those 41 minutes. And generally in a robbery situation or any other type, even in an abduction, there is not a lot of time to be sitting there discussing what to do. But if you have something that totally was unexpected, then you're sitting there for 41 minutes going, what the hell do we do now? So, I'm not sure that the fact that nothing was missing means it was not initially a B&E or breaking and entering for the purposes of trying to steal something. But we'll see. I mean, I just hope she's okay. I don't have a lot of hope though.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like a landfill search. Let's take a look. What I did is I took the video, right? This is the suspect. This is this, like, we've got the suspect on video, right?
Yep.
So I slowed it down a lot. I think it gives you a different look at all this. So let's take a look at that together right now. And I'll stop if the first thing that I noticed when I zoomed in a little bit as well, made it a little bigger, is that it looks like you can kind of see the what's happening behind here. And I don't see a car or anything behind him. This looks like it's the reflection on the right shoulder. But I also want you to keep your eye on his mouth, because it does look like he has some sort of a lighting device, what do they call it, a bite light or something, in his mouth. And from time to time, you'll see it go on when he needs it, which gives you an idea of just how dark it is where he is. But This is strange posture. Do you think he's just trying to hide his face?
I think so.
Or is he looking on the ground because he can't see where he's walking because it's so dark? What do you think's going on here as he makes his approach?
Maybe a little of both. I mean, it does look like he's looking down to see how he's going to, where he's stepping, is that he doesn't trip or something along those lines. And it is dark, obviously.
Now I see some light. What's interesting, I look in the background and it looks like it's across the street.
Right. There, it does look like there's lights there. It doesn't look like it's a car, though.
No, it's not a car because it looks like it's a house. Does it look like floodlights, or does it look like windows? Somebody's awake at that hour. That's what I can't tell there. I'll keep the video rolling here, but as you look at him here, he's looking sort of to the side, which is the side he's looking to is where the front door is, but it looks like he's looking even further to the left of the front door as you face it. He's got the left hand now securing the gun, which is strangely perched over his crotch.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense where you have a holster.
Have you ever seen a cowboy or anyone with their holster by their crotch?
No.
Jonesy?
I have not.
No.
Not even in the Three Amigos, they didn't have it.
Maybe the Three Amigos. Like this is silly. By the way, it does seem like the entire outfit was furnished by Walmart. The backpack is an exclusive to Walmart. The mask is a brand that we could only find available at Walmart online. The clothing, as well, it seems like there's some similar clothing that is now no longer being made by them, as well as the holster. I believe the holster was also a Walmart product.
Have it in front of you. It doesn't make any sense. You can't even. I mean,
any ideas? Looking at those lights in the background again.
They have to be a house, but
it's a house. But is it someone's awake, or is it because it's dark sky place, right? So
but it looks to me like I think it looks like it's as outdoor lighting, because if you look, I mean, there's a little bit in the middle, but it's looks like the two ends of like where the house would be. There's a floodlight there, or maybe it's a motion lamp.
Well, what's causing the motion?
Well, this is dark. You're in the desert there, and there's animals all around.
Yeah, this is a dark sky community, so there are limitations on how much illumination you can have at your house. That's why I'm wondering here what exactly is going on with those lights. It seems like it's a house. I'm not convinced that it's not a set of windows on the top floor of the house. We'll continue to keep an eye on it as we watch this, see if we get a better look at it.
Well, I also got to assume that the police have been to that house and, have taken a look to see if there's any cameras there. That's going to give that angle, because that would be an interesting angle to see what they actually were able to see from wherever that house is.
Yeah, one of the neighbors has a Ring floodlight, and they were looking at the camera, but then the owner of Ring said, I don't know why they're looking at the camera. All the footage is on the cloud. So this is like, what do you think he's doing here? Is he trying to remove the camera? Is he trying to open the door? What is he doing?
That is the weirdest position of one's hand with regards to trying to do something. I mean, it's like, even the way his hand is angled is kind of odd.
It's awkward.
Well, he could be trying to
take, righty or lefty from this.
He could be trying to take the top of the camera and either apply pressure to it to see if he can remove it more easily, or
would that make him a righty?
Yeah, well, not necessarily. Well, I mean,
the gun's in a position where I don't even know if a righty or a lefty would be easier to draw from where he is.
I would have to assume, I thought I saw that the butt of the pistol would be more towards a righty than left.
Then a lefty.
Yeah.
And this is just so weird. Just like, what are you doing? All right. Now he goes down. What is this little bend here? What's this? What's he
I
doing?
don't know
in
if he's
this bend?
looking for something, if he's looking for a rock, or he's looking for something to use to maybe try to hit the lens.
I think
Doesn't
he is
see
looking for
anything.
something because doesn't he return with the flowers?
Yeah, when he comes back with
So, so I think maybe he's looking at the ground
Looking at the ground with his
options.
light, with his bite light.
he's picking vegetation.
And you see right there. You see the way it lights up.
Yeah.
That's why he's bent down, because that's the way the light. He bends like this, and that's how he can illuminate the ground and see what's going on. And here comes the genius. All right, this is a better look at the. Okay, I'm looking at that. That looks like windows. Somebody's awake.
It looks like does look like windows to me, in that there seems to be a series of them, and they seem to be separated as windows would be. Doesn't necessarily mean somebody's up. There's a lot of that old turn on a light, turn off a thief kind of thing, and a lot of people have things like that set on timers if they're away.
Yeah, but it's Saturday night.
Yeah,
into Sunday morning, so it's like 2:00 it's 2 a.m. and the lights are on up on the second floor.
they could be watching Benny Hill on MeTV.
Yeah. Now the three of them do look like windows, and then the fourth is a little bit brighter. So it might just be the angle that it's hitting, or that to me strikes me more as potentially a floodlight. But again, the whole floodlight concept doesn't make sense to me.
The fact that there's no car, at least we don't see any, says to me that there's somebody out there waiting to come when they get his signal.
Yeah, I think it's also possible someone's in the house right now. And I've asked guests this on the show. This video, is this, and I think, is this the initial break-in, the initial entry, or is this a preparation for an exit out the front door?
No, I think I think this is the initial. I don't think this is because if that was the situation, there'd be a car. There'd be something there. There'd be a vehicle there.
Well, there might not be a vehicle until he gets rid of the camera.
Well,
his mission right here.
So then there's three people?
Could be three, yeah. What I'm saying is, you break into, or maybe he broke into the back of the house and she's tied up or something. Whatever happened, right? And now he's got to remove her out the front door, and he's going to use. He's going to go there and try to get rid of the camera because he knows there's a camera in the front, and maybe the entry was through the back door. And this was something that Lauren Vellucci from on my show, she's also got a great YouTube channel, spoke about, and that's the way she was looking at it, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. That could be. I don't think we should be married to this being the initial. It could be the initial, but not necessarily married to it. And if you've got a few people working in coordination, or if it's just say it still could be one guy parked down the block, but I don't know why someone wouldn't see the car, and then gets in the house through the back, does whatever he does, but knows he can't get her out through the back to the car for whatever reason. Doesn't want to do that. Wants to go out the front door. You got to take down that camera.
Couldn't you disable it from the inside?
Now this is him covering up the thing with flowers. I don't understand. What is the thinking there? I don't understand the thinking there.
So if your goal is to cover this camera, wouldn't you have thought of that ahead of time and come with like some sort of like tape? Just tape over it. Spray
Shh,
paint.
Jones, you're not so loud. The next guy will know how to do that.
Well, I see them do it all the time on TV shows. They
course.
spray paint the camera.
It's common sense. We've been seeing it for years. And there you can see the light in his mouth. Like the combination of getting away with this for 3 weeks and the Benny Hill like performance on the stoop here, it's not fitting together for me, and that I think that's the biggest mystery here. Like this operation has some level of sophistication and some level of borderline buffoonery.
It is peculiar, and the fact that this
It's
guy
almost
has
like our show. It's almost like our show.
peculiar. That's right. Exactly.
Peculiar, sophisticated, buffoonery, all at once. That's what makes this strange.
It doesn't seem uncommon to me that somebody in this guy's situation might have certain things in mind that make him look as though he knows what he's doing because he's thought them out, yet also have a degree of buffoonery as well somewhere inside. I thought about this, but I didn't think about that.
I'm with Al that there's a chance that this is not what we've been thinking it is, like this kidnapping operation for money, that it was something else and it went wrong, because this part of it just looks, and this comes from the perception of, okay, even if you're entering the house or exiting the house, this is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous what we're looking at right now. Like, none of us, if we turned into a life of crime, having never committed a crime before, would we do this? We just wouldn't. There's no way we would do this. The other thing
would make me.
What's that?
You two would make me do that.
Yeah. We'd send Josie up there.
We're the ones who know all about the legalities. You're the one who has to go deal with the camera.
That's right. Well, that's only fair.
Jones, you take care of the camera. I'll drive the car. I'm the designated driver. Al, you go inside.
I'm inside. Yeah, I'm in there pouring myself some Ovaltine.
Unbelievable.
Always good to have a designated driver.
Yep. So we'll watch the end of this, but those are the pieces that don't add up right now. Not adding up.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's quite silly. It's quite silly. And again, I zoomed in here just to get a closer look at everything.
I just want you to know, if that was ever the scenario with the three of us, like, I would turn both of you guys in like a second for an easier sentence.
Thank you.
Here's another look at the again, his head is down because he's looking at where he's walking, I believe, and using his bite light. But I'm wondering if the people across the street are awake. Are the people across the street awake? Like, they didn't hear anything. They didn't see anything. Like, what's going on with the lights across the street?
Well, there's not really much to see.
Yeah. Tell me, I'm just going to play this again, this beginning part, and just look in the background and tell me if you see anything, any movement or any shadowy figures, a second person, anywhere in the background. And I'll run this back a few times for everybody. I'm seeing nothing in the background.
I don't even see a gerbil.
The only thing to me that's interesting in the background are the lights, because those are rare in this neighborhood, and it's in the 2:00 hour. It is Saturday night, so people could be awake. I just have a feeling this is kind of a sleepy neighborhood. This is not like
party time.
Exactly. It's a nice, quiet, safe neighborhood. But I see nothing. I mean, there were some people posting videos saying that they thought they saw a figure behind him, and I'm just not seeing.
No, you see his shadow. That's the only thing I see is his shadow.
I see nothing else moving or lurking in the back.
6 more weeks of crime.
6. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right there. See, this is the key, right? Where you see, there he goes. Let me turn on the light. Let me watch where I'm walking. That's why I put my head down.
Right.
So what's the shadow on that side from? What's that? Is that from the moon? Or is there a light on somewhere?
Was it a full moon that day?
I don't know.
I would think there'd be some sort of light,
Yeah, there probably is some sort of a.
But it's again the darks. Like does Nancy have a motion
Sensor light?
I don't know. I
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
Where's that
I
shadow coming from?
haven't heard anyone say that, but there is most definitely a shadow.
Now, from a shadow, I've never studied shadows before, but from I bet there's someone, an expert somewhere, who could figure out the source of light that is casting that shadow, that is creating that shadow. That's probably a mathematical equation.
Well, it would strike me as overhead just from the angle of it.
Yeah, but it does seem to go
Overhead
to the side.
from
It goes
our left.
Yeah, to his left, but also towards the back of him. It seems to go as well. Let's focus on the shadow right now. And it disappears when he gets in here. So there's some source of light out here. And is it just there? It's very strong. That shadow is strong. And that's actually, it doesn't go to the back. That at that point, it's like directly to his left. And then does it change as he moves? Kind of stays steady. So what's that light source?
So
And
there
right
was a full moon. There was a full moon that night.
Okay. And if there's a full moon and it's a dark sky neighborhood, maybe that could cause light. And I think you're right here, Al. It does look like it favors the right side more than the left. So I think he would be a righty.
The pistol butt is pulled is to the right side.
And while later it dangles directly sort of in the crotch area. By the way, every time I say that word, you got to take a drink at home, folks. It seems to be closer to his right thigh.
Would you even be able to properly handle a gun with gloves?
With those gloves. A lot of people believe, myself included, that there's 2 layers of gloves.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time.
Which would also. Whoa! Why am I?
Vinny's ducking and covering.
No. Can you see this? I'm bleeding.
Oh, there's blood.
Wait, we've got a new story that we've got to cover here. Look at this. I'm bleeding.
Wow.
I don't even know why I'm bleeding.
Talk about your DNA.
It's on my knee, my surgically repaired knee. But look at this, guys.
Yeah, that is. Wait a minute, Vinny.
Where are you bleeding from?
Should I give a call to the house and see if everyone's all right?
Oh my! Like, I could get really jammed up with this.
We're gonna call it? Can we get a welfare check at Vinny's house, please?
Look at this.
Hold on. Yes, welfare check, please. He's somewhere.
It's 72 degrees. It's the first day I'm wearing shorts, and I'm bleeding.
What is it there? 72 degrees?
Yeah.
Jesus. We're looking at like 6 to 8 inches of snow on Sunday.
What is going on? This is insanity. I gotta clean up.
Where are you bleeding from?
I tried to show you. It's the first day I'm wearing shorts.
And
So,
this
yeah, on the
they
knee.
put
Where my
surgery
knee?
on that knee recently.
It's his low knee as opposed to his high knee.
I was just icing it. Look, you can see the blood stains on the ice pack. Because
Okay.
as you know,
What do you
do my
shard,
exercises.
shard? Is it shards of ice there, like the Titanic hits you?
No. But cold can't make you bleed.
Well, it made the Titanic sink.
This podcast is taking on a whole new.
Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, you're
Don't touch the hat.
Oh,
The hat's white.
contaminating the scene.
But you might be the scene, creating the scene.
Oh my. All right. Okay, so
You want to go wash up, and Jonesy and I.
I want to get to a few of the comments before we run out of time here.
Maybe you're a hemophiliac.
Oh no! Remember we were talking about that. You don't see those commercials anymore. I don't know
No,
why.
No, you don't.
Rubella umbrella.
Time to get happy. It's time to get funky. It's time for us to smile. Because here comes Max Spunky.
And his comment is, "Hey, all, it's time for me."
We gonna get funky like a monkey.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, by the way, while we're on the topic of fun things on February 20th, including Vinny bleeding, we have to wish happy birthday to Poison Ivy Rorschach, who is the most incredible guitar player from the Cramps. Kurt Cobain was born on this day in 1967, and Patty Hearst was born on this day in 1954. So happy birthday, all of them. And on Wednesday, I believe it was Vinny's favorite, John Travolta's birthday.
Yes. Yeah, I posted John for John Travolta's birthday on Facebook.
Okay, that was on that.
Did you say Patty Hearst's birthday too?
Yeah, Patty Hearst's birthday is today. Poison Ivy,
Wow.
Rorschach, and Kurt Cobain.
Parallel. Patty Hearst, kidnap victim. Or
Yeah, like that was the big one. That took 19 months. 19 months before they actually found her.
Symbionese Liberation Army.
Right.
Exactly. Jennifer Lego 4221. Thank you so much. Hello to my Valentine.
Oh,
Hey, thanks a lot.
Valentine.
thank you.
I like
Thank
that.
you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I'll
it.
just sit here.
Well, it did. You know, she was doing the whole thing. Let's see who else is in the check-in here. McSpunky sending a super sticker. How great is McSpunky 6.9?
Love
So
him.
much better than Spunky 2.0. 6.9
Not as good
is
as
better.
Spunky 7.0.
Indeed. Crime Junkie 007. Why isn't the family offering a larger reward to entice someone to turn them in? Right? Like, I'm just saying what I would do, right? And it's really what my brother would do because he's the one with all the money. Look at this. Blood is. I've got blood on my hands.
I got blisters on my fingers. Whoop, bop.
Yeah. I'm surprised because they're willing to pay the ransom,
Wow.
but they had no proof of life. And they may be getting like Jonesy said, they may be getting some sort of advice not to do that. But
I'm just thinking that she would. We're obviously talking about Savannah. She would. You know, there's a reason.
Generally, you don't see families putting up
Something we don't know.
rewards.
Right. And you know, FBI is going to give them the best advice possible on all that based upon years and years of experience. So
That's right. They've got the history. That's for sure.
okay, Primetime Peyton. Thank you. Vinny, can the emails to TMZ not be tracked? VPN. Yeah, it's like it's almost like when you create those shell corporations to try to hide the source and launder money. Folks who are very sophisticated are able to do that with sending these communications to TMZ. I'm sure they're attempting to track them down. but sometimes you can run them through certain parts of the world that make it much more difficult to track. And but I'm sure they are trying to. I'm sure that's a big part of the investigation, because if these people are, they could be prosecuted if for making these demands. So they're committing a crime as well.
And one already has been. One's been arrested for that, for the phony ransom note. Then I had gotten a question that I just wanted to address. It's going off on a tangent. Someone asked me about the arrest of former Prince Andrew from the royal family. Okay, and had that ever happened before? And it has happened once before in 1649. King Charles I was arrested in England, and it didn't go well for him because he got the D pen for treason. Ooh. So this is the second time in the history of the British monarchy that a royal family member has been arrested.
Vicky Kimsey, 5547, thank you so much. If you call the landfill today, when prompted for assistance, it goes right to the law enforcement tip line. JLR did it live. That's wild.
Right, that is wild. That's very interesting.
I guess they're probably getting a lot of calls now, so they just don't want to deal with it. But what if you had to get rid of a refrigerator or something? All right. Lisa.
Make sure you take the doors off the refrigerator first.
Always.
Before we get to Lisa Mitchell, WV Deadhead, we've got something on Facebook I wanted to read. This is from Tammy Lynn Raymer. They can get any medication in Mexico without a prescription. What do you think about that? That, to me, that's an interesting aspect of this, right? So if she does, in fact, need a certain medication and you don't want a paper trail, apparently, I've never tried it, you can go down in Mexico.
Yeah, but you could also probably send authorities down there to say, hey, these 3 medications.
Yeah, do you think there's the same tracking down there?
They might remember something about the person,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be worth a shot.
Maybe. I don't trust
because
any foreign entities.
I was already thinking you can order medications online and stuff like that. And, I'm sure that they submitted all of her medications to these sites and said, what do you got?
It doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you just take it with you? Okay, so I mean, that's it doesn't make sense to me that I'm going to break into the house, abduct her, and not take her meds because I'm going to be able to get a better deal in Mexico. I mean, that makes no sense.
Well, I don't think it was for a better deal. It was,
no, but I'm just saying. Well, I'm being didactic and facetious. But what I'm trying to say is that why not just take it with you? Okay, if it's sitting there, if she says, "Listen, I need my medication," I'm not going to say, "Ha ha, we're not taking it."
Yeah, I just came up with an idea though, Jonesy. If in fact we have to ever cancel this podcast or rebrand it, we can call it Didactic and the Didactic and Facetious Podcast, True Crime Podcast.
Right. Okay.
I enjoyed those 2 choice of words as well. I was going to zero in on it myself.
I'm thinking we've got a new T-shirt coming out, Vin.
Okay, Lisa Mitchell, WVD Deadhead, thank you so much. Whatever happened to buy coffee for content creator? It wasn't really coffee. Who drinks coffee of you 3? All? I drink like 4 cups a day.
I drink tea.
Tea? Green tea? Regular tea?
I drink English breakfast tea. I drink my English breakfast tea.
It's much more refined, Vinny.
Jonesy. Oh, I think I found the source of the blood.
What?
It's right here.
Oh, I'll fix that up. Good.
But what I don't understand is how it started bleeding or when. Can cold make something bleed?
Well,
because I iced it for like 15 minutes.
I would make you smart. It made Bud wine.
Is blood a sign of frostbite?
I don't believe so.
Okay. And right now I'm behind in the comments. There's probably 1 million people answering that question right now. But I just want to scroll through the super chats and see who else is talking. I never want to miss one of those.
No.
Don't want to miss them. So I'm just scrolling.
People are slow.
We got a Bengal cat chili. The expirated blood is very telling. Is Bengal cat talking about the front stoop or my knee? Is the question.
Hard to tell.
That's the mystery, folks.
Well, the expirated blood, I think people have described it as a drip, and you had to be standing still for 3 to 5 seconds, is what I heard one expert talk about. And yeah, the blood on the stoop is the scary part of the whole thing, and the most alarming, because that tells me something happened, right? Something happened. We know that something happened. We just don't know how bad it was. Thank you, Bengal Cat. Bogey Green Street, I think that he used the scrubbery to grip the camera and remove the camera.
Is that
because you can't get a good grip with the gloves, maybe? Is that possible that you use the shrubbery? Bring me a shrubbery.
That's right. Because it's the nights that say neat.
Thoughts on that theory?
It doesn't make sense to me that I would be using shrubbery to get a better grip. I mean, you've got better grip.
What if you weren't really bright?
Better grip.
What if you really weren't bright?
Well,
it's hard for him to put himself in that position.
Yeah,
however,
you're you're asking me to do the impossible then.
However,
I'm still doing the show with this much blood. I'm still doing the show with this much blood.
Wow.
And I've been stricken with diabetes. Bogey Green Street, I watch Columbo 2 on weekends. Love it.
Well, Bogey 2, I'm just going to make something point on this, that in 1952, The African Queen was released with starring Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. So the Bogey was perfect in that, because that was his nickname. Bogey.
Did he have an iconic line in that program, in that movie?
No, not so much on that one, but there's a tremendous scene with leeches that is like always been a big one that they will show as a meme.
And you can see the African Queen in Key Largo.
Yes.
Interesting. Kelly McKellen, 2946. Vinny! He is not covering the camera. That's how he removed it. You can't even fit fingers behind there. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the nest. I'm familiar with the Arlo and the ring. I know how to get those removed. But maybe the nest is a little different, and you can slide something behind it and remove it. So yeah, the removal of the camera. The irony is that as he's removing the camera, we get a really good shot of his face. That if someone is actually caught, you'll be able to match them up. If you don't have a DNA match, you'll be able to match the image caught on camera with his face. So
how about bringing a hammer? Bang.
Yeah, how hard is that, right? He's got a big backpack, but we don't know what's in the backpack.
Probably lunch.
Like that whole huge backpack, but he brought nothing to remove the camera.
Yeah, remove the camera. Like that doesn't make any sense to me on that. It's like I don't need any tools. I've got this shrubbery.
Yeah. People are blaming me.
He's like MacGyver. It's MacGyver. That's who it is. It's MacGyver.
What are they blaming?
One second. There we go.
Thank you, April Diaz. Have a great day today. Thank you, April Diaz. We appreciate everything you say. We all know she's a great fan, and we know the kind words she has. We always love to hear from you. Thank you, April Diaz.
Thank you, April Diaz. April Diaz, 1313. Gracias. Let's see where we are. I just got to go through. I'm really curious about this blood that I have. Kelly McKellen, 2946. Thank you so much for the super sticker.
Thank you.
Love
I would have
those
called 911 a half hour ago.
Yeah, but I'm going
And
to
if
finish.
history is any indicator.
Oh, what's in the backpack? We can't quite get there yet. I got to get through all these supers.
Okay.
I've got to get through the supers. Fancy Nancy 22. What's in the backpack? If there's nothing in the backpack to remove a camera, what is there, Al?
You know what? There could be basically a change of clothing. There could be gauze for blood, and it could be a place to hold the loot.
It can hold the loot, but it's filled already. Are you saying like one of those bags with the money signal on it?
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean,
carrying in there.
You can have a change of clothes in there.
Change of clothes.
Move.
Change of clothes. That
would be a smart
some people have said perhaps a bag, similar to like some sort of a bag to help transport a person. You put the person in the bag.
I don't know about that.
Or a tarp.
Well, that'd be like for a mob hit if you're going to be using a tarp.
Well, Nicola Home, 1883, 1673, the first wine auction was held in London. Al, do you have any of the bottles from that first auction?
I do not have any of the bottles from that. I go back. My furthest bottle is a bottle of Madeira that is from 1863.
Is that served cold, like a funky cold Madeira?
It's served. It would be cold, but I mean it would be cold because it's in your cellar at 56 degrees.
Gotcha.
Will you ever drink that?
I will. I'm going to probably at my 70th birthday party. I will break that out.
Oh, fantastic. Nancy Witten, 2585. Thank you so much for your kind support. I see some chats about what happened to Vinny. My knee is bleeding, but I don't know why. Kelly McKellen's back, 2946. He was using the shrubbery to pull the camera off. It's a very tiny slot behind it. That's what I was thinking he was doing, not covering it. Thank you, Kelly. So I guess that must be the mechanism for pulling off a Nest camera from its harness, different from the Arlo, different from the Ring. The Ring, there's a special tool. The Arlo, you have to sort of use almost like a paper clip or something to poke in the hole, and then you can pull it out. This one, I guess you have to put something behind it. Thank you so much, Kelly McClellan. Jen W4X. The person's eyes look very determined. I think he was possibly hired. If there's no body, there's no murder investigation.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
It's a more difficult one.
It's more difficult, but that doesn't mean it has. We deal with that.
Homicide was called in the first day.
Right.
So, but thank you, Jen. Mountain baseball girl. He's wearing a jacket in Arizona. He would have been sweating a lot. It was in the 50s that morning. He's layered. He might be sweating a little bit. Yeah. I see guys and women doing construction that are out in the sun in Georgia down here in the middle of the summer wearing long sleeves.
Well, I think they do that to protect themselves.
Yeah, protect yourself from sun.
From the sun, but like it's hot. It's really hot, and they're able to survive. I understand it is a dry heat in the desert, nonetheless. But he would be sweating, and if he sweats, what happens? He would leave more DNA on the inside of whatever glove is touching his skin.
That's true.
Here's Kim Young, 2447. Vinny is so handsome.
How handsome is he?
Yeah. We need to get all these comments in, Al. We need to get them all in. Kelly McClellan, back again. Why are they focusing more on the backpack when a mask would be more rare in Tucson? That's true. Like the purchase of a ski mask in Tucson, it'd be very, very rare.
Well, I believe. Well, wait a minute. I mean,
skiing.
You can't go to Colorado. I mean, you're not that far. I mean, you can't go to Utah. I mean,
Yeah, but it's more rare than like Colorado Although this person could be from Colorado.
Well, the person who's going to Colorado is going to buy a mask to go skiing.
I saw Emil Mascaras demasked at Roosevelt Stadium in Jersey City, and he was wearing another mask underneath.
Under the mask.
Yeah.
So here's what I will say about that mask. I don't think anyone would buy it to go skiing. It's a $7 mask.
Well, I'm not saying that it necessarily would be the one I'd be using if I was skiing, and I've never skied, so I've water skied.
I think Kelly's making a great point. What do you think of that?
I think she's wonderful.
And here's Jessica Helmer. Where's the communication from them? They take her, don't provide proof of life, ransom isn't paid, they go ghost. What is the point of it all? What is the point of it all?
It's been my point from the beginning, okay, that this was never going to be an abduction, because there was never going to be a ransom, because that's not what this was about. So, I mean, the fact that you're in 41 minutes, you don't leave a note, what does that tell you? The fact that the first note they get is one that has a contingency plan also doesn't make any sense if you're going to be a person that is abducting someone. And no proof of life, another problem with it. As we've done, as I mentioned, with regards to the Lindbergh kidnapping, there was no proof of life. They paid $50,000. The poor child was killed the night the baby was abducted, probably dropped from the window when they were trying to take the baby out of the bedroom. So, I mean, you don't do it. If you're going to be abducting someone, you don't abduct an 84-year-old woman. Doesn't make any sense from the get-go.
Why is my knee bleeding?
Why do we unleavened bread? That's like the questions you ask on Passover.
There is a ski area in Flagstaff, Arizona.
There you go. Born in Arizona, moved to Babylonia. Tim Tut.
Z Mimis, thank you. Here's my take. Stay with me. All right, here we go. We're going to walk through this. Someone with the Desert Law Show did it for PR, but it went wrong and vindictive to Nanos. They are looking in the wrong direction. It's about Nanos. Nancy has been dumped.
I don't even understand that.
Either do I.
I don't know either. I don't know what the Desert Law Show is, but so what they're saying is
you will when you hear from their lawyers for this.
Yeah, this is to make the sheriff look bad. Okay, the locals may know a lot more about the politics there, so I appreciate that. By the way, Gen X, you're welcome to Mr. A for Rabbit. Rate, would that be Rabbit or that's Rate? Mr. For Rate, A for 8, 8 for 8.
A for
Mr. A for Rate. What is that?
Ribbit.
I see rabbit when I do that, but it may not be rabbit. But of course, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, Gen X, part of our amazing mod squad.
The mod squad, keeping order in the chat. The mod squad, spotting trolls who attack. Oh, Gen X is ready and on the scene. Frankie Thieves making sure they're keeping it clean. Jennifer Soubey telling haters don't be so mean. And Ashley Bouchard on top of our Facebook screen. We are the mod squad, cleaning up the mess. The mod squad, simply the best. The mod squad.
All right. And by the way, for those of you who love the Mod Squad merch available. Vinny Originale, True Crime Merch Shop. Check the chat. You'll see the link. Just type Vinny Originale, and you'll get it. Let's see. We've got another question from Facebook. Debbie DeMoss, what about the second guy in camo they never talk about? Who is the second guy in camo?
Got me on that one.
If there's a second guy in camo, that'd be amazing. I have not seen him, but I'm still trying to figure out why my knee is bleeding. I don't understand it. Like, I had surgery in October. All that healed. This, the tiny little scars healed.
Yes, that's
And then I've been rehabbing my knee, doing exercises. I did exercises today. And when I do the exercises, I then will put this ice pack on it, for 20 minutes at a time. But today, all of a sudden, I take the ice pack off and my hands are full of blood.
Is it continuing to bleed?
There is a little bit of blood. Yeah.
Huh. That's not good, Vinny.
No. Okay. And now someone's saying it may be the light, but your color doesn't look good to me. Let me see. I think it is the light.
Stick out your tongue.
I think it's the light. Let me see.
well, you sound fine.
Now I look more normal. Yeah. It's definitely the lighting, but thank you. Everyone's got their eye on me.
Stick out your tongue.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good.
Frankie Figs has put up the Vinny Originale link, folks. Vinny Originale. Originale. All right. Woo. We are.
Do we have maybe a little history right now? Because I got a couple of like true crime things that are being
Absolutely.
Civil war to civil rights and all the revolution fights. World War I and World War II. I'll always knows who is who. It's this day in history. This day in history. History. Now let's listen to his story.
February 20th in true crime history in 2003. Fire at the Station nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island. Killed 100 people, injured 200. Pyrotechnics started a fire inside the nightclub. The band was Great White. The town, the tour manager pled guilty to 100 counts of involuntary manslaughter, was sentenced to 15 years, served 4, 11 years were suspended. The club owner got 15 years, served 4, 11 years was suspended. The club owner's brother got 10 years, and the entire sentence was suspended.
Something else about that, Al. Something else about the club owner was also a local news reporter.
Oh.
That's why there's so much video of it inside. They were doing a story on the club when this happened. So it wasn't like everyone had a cell phone back then and had a camera with them when this all happened. But the local news were there because the owner of the club was a news reporter.
So they played the Stone Pony prior to that, and Dominic Santana, who used to own the pony, said that, like, he, basically told them, like, no, you can't do this thing. Did it anyway.
The same pyrotechnics.
Yeah, he was on the news and part of the story.
Wow.
2024, Ruby Frank and Jody Hildenbrand were sentenced to 4 to 30 years in prison for aggravated child abuse. Stories that we covered on Court TV. And back in 2024, Brian Walsh of the Anna Walsh fame was sentenced to 37 months in federal prison for selling fake Andy Warhol paintings. He subsequently
I would have bought one. I would have bought one from him.
You would have?
Like if he acknowledged that it was fake. I would have paid a good price for that.
Andy Warhol might have got a kick out of that, actually.
Yeah, he would have
Probably
loved it.
would have. February 20th in Revolutionary War history, because we have the 250th anniversary coming up. 1781, British General Lord Cornwallis in occupied Hillsborough, North Carolina, attempts to rally loyalists, but is met with little success. That was part of the war where the British figured they couldn't do anything up north. They wanted to go down south and try to cultivate some loyalist backing to help them in the fight, and it didn't happen. February 20th in history. 1939, the American pro-Nazi Bund holds a rally at Madison Square Garden. 20,000 people attend. 1942, Lieutenant Edward O'Hare becomes Navy's first fighter ace, shooting down 5 Japanese bombers. He is the first naval aviator to be awarded the Medal of Honor. And then sadly, he's killed in action on 11/26/43. O'Hare Airport is named after him.
I was going to ask that. I was going to ask.
1959, Jimi Hendrix plays his first gig in the basement of a synagogue in Seattle. He's fired immediately after for playing his guitar in too wild of a fashion. And then in 1962, John Glenn is the first American to orbit the Earth aboard Friendship 7. And in 2005, Hunter S. Thompson dies, and apparently it was a suicide, but now they've reopened the case and they're looking in to see if there's going to be potentially a red rum situation.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. That's one we got to keep our eye on.
Yeah,
by the way,
that's gonna
Johnny
be an interesting
Knoxville.
one.
Johnny
That's gonna be
Knoxville, thank you. Happy tax return season, Vinny. Have a good weekend. Thank you, Johnny Knoxville.
That's why I bleed.
Kelly McKellen is going crazy today. 2946. Question for you, Albert.
Oh,
Do you think that they told too much to the media in this case and they should have kept things closer to the vest? Now, is it closer to the vest or closer to the chest?
I think it's closer to the vest.
To the vest, okay.
Closer
They're
to
playing
the
this really close to the vest. What,
Yeah.
Jonesy, you wear vests, don't you?
Yeah, but I thought the expression was closer to the chest.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I always called it closer to the vest because you're keeping it down like this. I mean, we keep it to your chest and looking is kind of hard, but to the vest, you can at least get a little view of it.
And closer, and it depends upon whose chest, how close it actually is.
That's a good point also.
All right, so what do you think here, Al?
I don't think that they've let out too much information. There's not that much information that they've let out, quite candidly. I mean, there's really nothing that they have put out with, the camera. They needed to do that because someone may recognize something about that person. So that's necessary. And all the other stuff, basically TMZ is putting out more information than the FBI and the sheriff's department.
That's true. That is true. Bogey Green Street, Vinny, I read you should contact your doctor immediately if you are bleeding.
Who listens to that
Are you
kind of
kidding
advice?
me? Please. I think
Vinny,
that-
let me tell you something.
I don't think I played any football game or even baseball where I wasn't bleeding at some point in time, and I continued to play. Okay.
Vinny, don't get blood on your white allegedly hat. Although, if I did get blood on this white allegedly hat, it'd be a collectible.
That's a good point.
That's true.
Right. Maybe we should have an allegedly hat with like a blood stain on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, that you're a artificial blood stain. Yeah, I think you're
Yes.
on to something.
Wait.
Yeah,
guys, I got to cut off for 1 minute. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Oh, look at this. This is amazing. February 20th, 1936. Gail Adenison's dad was born. Happy 9-0, Dad.
Hey, happy
Awesome.
90th.
Awesome.
So, Vinny, I don't have any health insurance, and let me tell you something. You don't go see a doctor because, you're bleeding. What you do is you ignore it and hope it goes away. I did that just last week when I got, what I thought was deathly ill, and it went away after 40 hours.
Beautiful. That's Al. Everyone I watch Columbo, I can't help but think of you. Yes, Bogey comes from Bogart. We share the same birthday. Green Street from Sydney Green Street, old movie fan.
Oh,
all right,
cool.
if Al comes back, we'll make sure he sees this.
Yeah, that's right out of Casablanca. I watch Columbo every weekend. My gal refers to it as a como lumbo or a Columbo coma because we just sit there and watch episode after episode.
Indeed. It's also Joy Wag's dad's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Desert Law TV show about okay. So Desert Law is it's like a cops show that's on A&E this year featuring the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
Oh.
So we did get an answer on that.
I
And Al,
apologize
this is for you.
Oh, sorry.
Bogey comes from Bogart, same birthday. Greenstreet from Sydney Greenstreet, old movie.
One of the greatest lines in the movie Casablanca is just, because you didn't hear it, the Germans, that it would take a miracle to get out of Casablanca. And in case you didn't hear it, the Germans outlawed miracles.
All right, we've reached that point of the show, gentlemen, where
What? Wait, Jonesy. Oh, he's
my
frozen.
favorite line. She pulls a gun on him. I'm frozen.
no,
No,
we're
you're right.
listening.
I'm frozen.
No,
We're listening to you.
Okay, so my favorite line from that movie, she pulls a gun on him, right? And his face is quivering, and he says, "Go ahead, you'd be doing me a favor." And that's my favorite line from the whole movie. He says more with his facial expression than most actors say with like an hour of dialogue.
I like Peter Lorre's line when he goes like, "Because you despise me, I trust you most in Casablanca."
All right, so,
Hide.
gentlemen, fortunately or unfortunately, I need to clean up my knee and then get ready for my TV show tonight. So
Just don't wear your best suit.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Don't wear white.
Don't wear white. Al, where can folks find you?
Well, I will be on Monday night with Vinny from 8 to 9. Okay. And I want to thank a couple of Tanginistas that showed up to the book event I did on Wednesday. With, came into that with Andrew Yang. It was very nice to see you guys there. And so Monday, 8 to 9 on Closing Arguments with Vinny. And, looking for the snow that's going to be coming this weekend in New Jersey.
Jonesy, where can folks find the radio legend?
Hasta la vista, Los Angeles.
I will be DJing tomorrow for a Rogue event, Liechtenstein Field, West Orange, New Jersey, Winter Whiff 26. Bunch of maniacs playing wiffle ball while I play the tunes.
Always a great event. Always a great event. You can watch me every night, 8 to 10, 2 hours of live true crime on Court TV, 8 to 9, Closing Arguments with Vinnie Politan, 9 to 10, Vinnie Politan Investigates. We'll be talking about the Guthrie investigation. I'm sure we'll get the latest on the landfill. Plus, we're going to take a look at the big trial that begins on Monday. Corey Richins out of Utah. That's tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates. We also have some wild photos and images and video of Courtney Clenny inside the courtroom. You'll see that tonight in the 8 o'clock hour. So we've got that going on. That's it. I got to run. I've got to check on the blood situation. But it looks like we've got coagulation.
Ah, very
We
good.
got coagulation.
I told you, ignore it, and it went away.
Yeah, I don't, for the life of me, I don't know what happened. But anyway, say goodnight, Jonesy.
Good night, Jonesy.
All right, we got to do that again. I got to remove this and do this.
Take two.
From the top, say goodnight, Jonesy.
Good night, Jonesy.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you for all your support. We are the Tangent True Crime Podcast. We'll see all of you in court. Somebody say tangent. Tangent. Somebody say podcast. Podcast. Tangent, tangent. Podcast, podcast. This is the Tangent Podcast. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you for all your support. We are the Tangent True Crime Podcast. We'll see all of you in court. Somebody say